Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, usually, as you all know, I talk about real important subjects, about timely issues that impact our community. But I saw this article and I had to talk about it. This is more of a lighthearted type of discussion. It's more like comic relief, because I usually deal with a lot of very serious subjects. So I said, why not lighten things up and talk about this particular issue? So today I was on YouTube and I saw this particular article from Hot 97. And I just want to briefly summarize some of the things in the article and then provide my brief commentary. And I also want to hear from you. I'm going to ask you all a couple of questions. Hopefully, people will be able to tune in. But if not, you all can respond after the playback. Uh, Shout out to Hassan. I see you in the chat room. So let's get into it. So let me share my screen. So here's the article that I'm referring to, and I will get to people's comments right after I first just go through this article. And then after I go through the article, I'll go to the chat room to see what people are saying. Um, and then I'll provide my commentary. So in this article from Hot 97, it talks about August Alsina and some comments that he made. It said that he opened up about falling in love with Jada Pinkett Smith, who, as you all know, she's married to Will Smith. It says that she's 45 and he's 27. He claims that Will Smith approved of the love affair. It says that he says, I actually sat down with Will Smith and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to a life partnership. He gave me his blessing. Then it goes on to say that Alsina allegedly was introduced to Pickett in 2015 by her son, Jaden. And they became very close, even vacationed with their family together in Hawaii in 2016. And they attended the 2017 BET Awards together. And it says, in this article, it says that August Alsina said this. He said, I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life. And I truly and really, really deeply love and have a ton of love for her. I devoted myself to it. I gave my full self to it. So much so to the point that I can die right now and be okay with knowing that I truly gave myself to someone. And I really loved a person. I experienced that and I know what that feels like. And some people never get that in this lifetime. Then he went on to say, I know that I'm completely blessed, and this conversation is difficult because it's so much that it would be hard for people to understand. Once it starts to affect me and my livelihood, I have to speak up about my truth. And then this particular article shows pictures of him with Jada Pinkett Smith. Here's one photograph right here on Instagram. And this don't look like, this does not look like just some friendship. You know what I'm saying? And then you got this other photograph. I don't know if they have it here, but there's another photograph where she's at an award show with, actually right here, this photograph right here, where he has his hand all around her waist and she's very close to him. It looks like they're in a relationship. But since this particular story came out, you had Jada Pinkett Smith deny that there was a relationship, and you also had Will Smith deny that he gave his blessing to any kind of relationship. And many people know that for years there have been rumors about them having an open marriage. This is something that they even touched upon during Will Smith's interview on the Red Table show that Jada Pinkett Smith has on Facebook. And, you know, they were talking about how they're maybe, you know, they're going to be together forever and all this and that. But they also talked about how there are times when they would be together, but they would be on other sides of the house with whoever they were with. You know, like she made reference to Will Smith being on this side of the house with whoever he's with, and me on the other side of the house with whoever I'm with. So, you know, I think that there's something to this. And I think that, you know, that um, I think that this guy, August Alsina, is telling the truth, you know, despite what they're saying. I think that they're really embarrassed about, you know, how they're choosing to live. You know, for whatever reason, they don't feel comfortable, you know, just being upfront and honest about how they're living. And they're still trying to present this illusion about what their marriage is about. Um, because, you know, they allude to the reality of it in that interview, as I was telling you. And if I get a chance, I'm going to look for that interview and post it in a description box so that you all could check out that interview where they talk about their relationship and all this and that. And I'll post a link to August Alsina's interview where he's, you know, talking about his love for Jada Pinkett and the experience. So let me see what you all are saying about this. But I believe him. When I heard what he had to say, he seemed really sincere. And I could be wrong. You know, I could be wrong. Perhaps he is making it up, but it seemed like he was really sincere. You know, it seemed like he was expressing genuine emotion. Um, and also, the pictures say 1,000 words. These pictures speak to something that's deeper than any kind of simple friendship. I mean, just think about it. You know, anybody looking at this picture right here would think that they are a couple. But anyway, I'm going to go to your comments and then I'm going to go into the rest of my commentary. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. And I'm really interested in what y'all think about this whole situation. Um, so let me see what people are saying. So a lot of people are talking about how they've had an open relationship for years. And they're saying that there's been rumors about this for years. And I just want to ask y'all, like, what do you all think about the idea of an open relationship? You know, like, have any of you all been in an open relationship? And what was that experience like? Because I know for me, like, there's no way that I could really be in an open relationship. You know, I could not be in a relationship with a woman who's sleeping with other men. I just couldn't be in that. And I think that if you're in something like that's not even that's not a relationship. When I think of a relationship, I think of commitment, I think of dedication, I think of loyalty. And I think that if somebody is in a situation where they don't feel the need to be loyal or dedicated, then the question is, why are you even in a relationship? You're better off being just a single person out here doing your thing instead of being in a relationship. And I especially don't understand how someone can be in an open marriage. It's like, why even make a commitment to a marriage and have it open where you're allowing your spouse or, you know, your husband or your wife to see other people? It does. There's no, that defeats the, you know, one of the main reasons why people get married. Like, why would you even put yourself in that position? Why not just continue to be in a you know, a situation where you're just dating people instead of like putting on a charade as if you have some kind of relationship when you don't, if you're sleeping with all these different people and all that kind of stuff? Because there's no way in hell that I could give some other man my blessing to be with my woman. There's no way I would ever allow that to happen, you know. And I think that that's one of the things that people need to do. They need to define what their relationship is before they get into these relationships. But it's just something else. And for some people like Will Smith, he probably said, well, like if you're in that situation where you're in an open relationship, I guess they feel like, well, it doesn't bother me because I'm doing the same thing. I'm seeing other women and stuff like that. And it's like when you think about it, you got these diseases out here, you got AIDS, you got all these, herpes and all this other stuff. And just the thought of somebody sleeping with another partner, it's like I would automatically be thinking maybe they're bringing back some disease to me or something like that. All those types of things. So let me see what y'all have to say about this, man. So Sean says it looks like he's been like the guy August has been used as a side piece. No man should be a side piece. Yeah, man. And I understand, like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to, like, when you just think about that part of it, like, it's just difficult to imagine being in a relationship with somebody that's married because, unless you just have no ties to this person, like you're just having sex with somebody and you don't have any ties to this person. But this guy was talking about how he was basically in love with Jada Pinkett and he was taking her out and doing all these types of couple type of things. You know what I'm saying? Um, so it seems like it was more than just sex. And it's like he put himself in a side piece position. And when you have all these emotions attached to somebody that's already committed to somebody else, I mean, that can be a real painful experience. And I'm just like, why would somebody even put themselves through something like that? Like, why would you put yourself through those types of emotions and that type of turmoil when you can just be with somebody that's fully committed to you and fully dedicated to you? Because I can just imagine, I mean, here you are dating this married woman, and you know that when you're gone, she's back with her husband. She's sleeping with her husband. She's spending her time with her husband. She's not fully committed to you. So it's like here you are, a young star, a singer that has all this acclaim and all this attention. You could be with any woman in the world that you want to be with, just about, and you choose to be with a married woman, an older married woman at that. I mean, here you are, 27 years old in the prime of your life, and you're going to choose to be with a married woman with all these kids and stuff like that. I mean, how does that make any kind of sense? But sometimes, like, things of romance don't make sense. Like, things dealing with love and, emotions don't necessarily make logical sense. But for me, I just don't get it. Like, I would never put myself in that situation. So let's see what else other people. Yeah, so somebody asked, why don't he just divorce her and move on? And that's what I'm saying. Like, that would be my position. Like, there's no way that I would tolerate that kind of situation. I mean, but it's like, I'm sure that they got all kinds of financial ties. Like, if he were to divorce her, like, that would be half of his wealth, at least half of it taken through divorce proceedings and all that kind of stuff. And fortunately, like I think all of his kids, just about all of them are adults now. So there wouldn't be child support. I don't think there would be any child support issues or anything like that. But still, you have alimony. And I know that Will Smith makes way more than Jada Pinkett Smith. He has way more wealth and resources and stuff like that. So he would lose a substantial amount of money, unfortunately, if he got a divorce. So I could understand part of the reason why he would be in that situation. But it's like, at some point, like, and maybe because he's doing the same thing, as I said before, he may not care about that situation, but it's no way that I would put up with that. Like, especially like when you got all these, you don't have to settle for anything like that, especially when you're in his position. There's no reason why anybody, like, like this YouTuber says, should have a deficit type of mindset or a desperation type of mindset. And I'm sure that he doesn't. I'm sure that that's not what it's about. I just can't wrap my mind around somebody allowing their wife to be with other men, but that's just me. All right, let's see what other folks are saying. Yeah, so somebody said the Smiths have a 100 million net worth gap. So Elaine Lloyd said that the marriage is open, so there are no hurt feelings. But I'm wondering if that's even true. Like, I wonder if that can really be completely true. Like, I'm just wondering, like, I've never been in that situation where I've been in some open relationship, but I think a lot of times people put on airs and they say, oh, yeah, this is what we're about and all that kind of stuff. But I think at the end of the day, like, a lot of people still are, still have emotional attachments. They still have issues of jealousy and stuff like that and resentment, even though they're trying to say, well, they don't care. It's an open, they're in an open relationship. They can see who they want. But I think, to be honest, a lot of these people still have some kind of resentment. You can't tell me that Will Smith had no reaction when all these people are talking about Jada Pinkett Smith being with this young guy. You can't tell me that he didn't have any kind of emotional thoughts at all about that situation. When these pictures of him and, of the guy with his wife are all over the internet, like, you can't tell me that he was like, oh, that's what's up. Like, I don't think any normal man would see that and be okay with that. And I think that that's part of the reason why both of them had their spokespeople come out and say, well, this is not true. Because if it was something that they were indifferent to or they didn't care about, they wouldn't say anything about it. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Like, somebody said that Will Smith gave August permission to be in a relationship with Jada. And that just seems so crazy to me. Like, I can't even wrap my mind around doing anything like that. Where I'm saying, okay, you have my blessing, much like a father giving, a father giving somebody the blessing to marry his daughter, but giving somebody the blessing to lay down with your wife and have a relationship with your wife, that seems crazy to me. That just seems absolutely insane to me. Also, Elena B asks who is Will Smith's side piece. And that, I don't know. Like, I don't know much about, I don't usually keep up with this celebrity stuff like this, but this is crazy, man. Now, Pro Woman said that that you support, I guess you support polygamy, but not an open marriage. So why do you say that? I'm just curious. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to leave this hangout soon, probably like around 7 o'clock. So but I may be back on here later on. There are a lot of issues that I want to talk about. But yeah, I'm interested in knowing why do you make a distinction between polygamy and an open marriage. And I'm interested in hearing what other people have to say about that as well. So Elaine Lloyd says, I don't know what the big deal is outside of STDs. The only reason why I agree, that's the only reason why I agree to faithfulness. I don't know if women care as much as men. Um, I don't know if that's true. I know that, yeah, I know that it seems like women are more tolerant of infidelity, like than men are. A woman, it seems like, and I could be wrong, but that's the impression that I get, that women seem to be more accepting and more forgiving of their men, being unfaithful. Yeah, so I don't know about that. And I think that it's deeper than STDs. Like, I don't think that that's the, I mean, that's a very important issue, but it's deeper than that. It's like a sense of betrayal. If somebody like, uh, you know, commits a, adultery, or they leave their, leave who they're with to have an affair and all that kind of stuff, that's a sign of disloyalty. That's a sign of betrayal. Like, because you have an emotional bond with that person and you expect that bond to be cherished and loved instead of violated. And so I don't think it's just some simple issue of some STDs type thing. It's about loyalty. Yeah, and this person made a great point. The only reason they couldn't never be hurt is if they never cared to begin with. Yeah, because like if you don't care, you're less likely to be concerned about like what happens, like that somebody is with somebody else. Like, for instance, if you're just like dating around, you're a single person and you're dating multiple people and stuff like that, and you're not really bonding with them or developing some deep, meaningful relationship, then it doesn't impact you to find out that one of the people you were dating, out of all the people you're dating is dating somebody else too, and all that kind of stuff. You probably don't care nothing about that because you haven't developed that bond with that particular person. Um, but if you like in a serious relationship and you feel like you love this person and all that kind of stuff, and you devoted to this woman and all that, and then you find out she's laying down with this one and that one and all that kind of stuff, that's going to tear at you. That's going to be painful. That's going to hurt. And I wonder if that's part of the reason why this young brother decided to come out and talk about his relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith, because um, it sounds like the brother is hurt. You know what I'm saying, to a degree, even though he said that he still loves her and all that kind of stuff. And I know he's probably hurt by the fact that the relationship was never really acknowledged and all that kind of stuff. And then you have now, this situation now where they're, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett is saying this guy is basically lying. Shorty Womp said P. Diddy is his side piece. That was funny, man. I don't know, man. A lot of the crazy stuff be going on in that family. Like, they're just, people in Hollywood are weird. They call it Hollyweird for a reason. So you never know. Oh, so somebody said that this other YouTuber has info on Will Smith's side piece. I'm gonna have to check that out. So Elaine Lloyd said that polygamy is one-sided open marriages. Um, that's the difference. Um, yeah, I mean, to an extent, that's true. It is a one-sided situation. But even like, well, it depends on the situation. Like, I know that in some communities, there's limits on how many wives a man can have and all that kind of stuff. Whereas, some open relationship, people can just do what they want. There's no restrictions or limitations or anything like that. Shout out to Dave Bowman. Let's see. So somebody wanted to know what time I'm going to come back on. I'm not sure what time it'll be. I just encourage you to hit that notification bell, because like a lot of times I got so much stuff going on that like I say one time and then it'd be another time. I say one date and it ends up being another date. So I just encourage y'all to hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I'm going live and all that kind of stuff. So that way you'll know right away when I'm going live. But there's so much stuff that I want to talk about, and I probably won't have time enough to get to everything. I mean, you have these police brutality cases going on. You had a situation where that couple had the guns pointed at the protesters. I want to talk about that. I mean, you had that guy, Terry Crews, make those ridiculous comments about Black Lives Matter. And I may actually talk about some things dealing with the so-called black sector of YouTube. I may do a video about that. So yeah, it's a lot of things I want to talk about, and I probably won't get to them all tonight if I'm able to come back on here later on tonight. Yeah, and I was watching this other YouTuber, and he was talking about how this guy August shouldn't have said anything about this relationship. He was just saying that, like that's violating the code of the street and, all that kind of stuff. Like he shouldn't have aired it out and all that kind of stuff. And we know, like, if somebody's a side piece, I guess they supposed to play their position and not air out things and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I don't understand how anybody could play that side piece role. Like, why would you be somebody's side piece when you can be in a committed relationship? It's like, why would you put up with that? Especially for a woman that's twice your, I mean, this woman is almost twice his age, man. This woman is old enough to be his mother. It's just crazy that he would be in that kind of situation where he's some side piece to this older lady. But yeah, I don't want to keep y'all any further, but I want to thank y'all for tuning in. For the people that are just seeing this now, I'm really interested in your thoughts. What do you think about open marriages and relationships? What do you think about this situation involving August, Alsina, and Jada Pinkett? So with that, I'm going to say peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Please rate, comment, subscribe, like the video, share the video, hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content on here. Peace and blessings, everyone. Have a good night.